Don't know. Such a mood.
How come?
Don't know how come. Maybe it work such period. Maybe I'm tired a bit. But this week I allowed myself to be a bit lazy.
It's good to do this sometimes. Are you getting a holiday anytime soon?
No.
No? No holiday?
No, unfortunately, my way of life don't allow me long holiday with our invalid and with my work. So this year I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the same for lots of people, to be honest, this year.
Maybe, yeah. Can I ask about last?
Of course you can. You can ask whatever you want.
I wanted to ask about kicking it into the long grass. It is the same as brush under the carpet?
No, not exactly, although it's very similar. So if you brush something under the carpet, you basically just pretend it doesn't exist and you hide it away.
Yeah.
Okay? So this morning when I was teaching, one of my students was talking about her family, and she said basically her dad hated conflict. And so anytime they had a kind of family argument, everyone would just say nothing and they would kind of brush it under the carpet and pretend everything was okay. Okay? If you kick it into the long grass, so, individuals can, or families can brush things under the carpet, or a school can, or a company can, or a country can. Kicking it into the long grass is more like when you have to make a decision about something, or, finish some, usually when you have to make a decision about something and you basically just move it forward in time so that you don't need to decide it now. So it's often like, the government will basically say, we'll do it next year. And you say, well, when next year? Sometime next year. And next year you ask, so is it going to happen soon? Maybe in September. And they basically just keep, kind of moving it forward and hoping everybody forgets about it. Yeah. So it's more to do with kind of postponing the date when it happens.
Yeah, I see.
Hey, Olga, by the way.
Hi.
Hi. And one more.
Yeah, tell me, Galina.
I'm still finding my feet. In one context it's used.
So it's either when you start a new job, okay, and everything's a bit strange for you and you're not sure how everything works, or if you move to a new town or a new city or a new country, how is it in your new city? Whoa, I'm still finding my feet. Everything's a bit new for me. I don't really understand how it works here yet.
Mm-hmm.
And often people will say to you, like when you start a new job or when you move, don't worry, it takes time to find your feet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes from boats. Like when you get onto a boat and the boat moves like this and you feel like, I don't feel good. It takes time to kind of, get your sea legs and to feel comfortable in that new situation. So yeah, it's usually new job, new country, new company.
Yeah, I see. Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hey, Olga. If you have anything, shout.
I just have a new expression from my colleague.
Which one?
From the UK. She's from the UK, and we were chatting online, and she wrote, "Wasn't it just?" We were talking about it was easier. It was easier to sign documents when we were in the office, and she wrote, "Wasn't it just?" And I think it's just for me. It was I would never understand it without a translation into Russian.
Yeah. I did a video about this one.
I watched it. Yeah.
Oh, really? You found it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting expression, yeah? It basically just means, yes, it was.
Yeah.
Isn't it just? Wasn't it just?
Yeah.
Just. Yeah, I use it a lot with my kids. Where if my kids, you know, my son will kind of say, "Did you see? I ran really fast." And in that kind of I'm half listening sort of way, you kind of go, "Didn't you just?" Yeah. It's common. It's really common as a way of just kind of going, "Yes." And hey, Evgenia, Anna,
Yes, hi.
how are you?
Fine, thank
Yeah?
you. I was waiting forward to seeing you again.
Hey, I'm still here.
Yes.
I've had a crazy week. I went camping at the weekend, glamping,
Glamping. Yeah.
and it rained almost the whole time we were there. So that was an experience.
Typical for Britain, for English weather. Yeah?
July's been really weird. It's been like the coldest, wettest July I can remember for years. It's been really cold. But then today it's 32 degrees. So, you know, go figure. Who knows?
No balance.
It really is like one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
And then this week, the gym I go to has reopened. So I've dragged myself to the gym twice. And it's very weird going to a kind of socially distanced, anti-COVID compliant gym. It's quite interesting experience. You know, you have like 2 meters apart on all the machines, and you have a special person running around cleaning everything. And hey, Natalia.
I have several questions.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm just collecting from my week.
Tell me again.
So, is there any special expression for the gesture like that? So when you just don't know what to say, you're just, raising your hands, explaining something. It's kind of the same as to put your hands into the sand, but it is a bit difficult or different when you don't know what to say.
It's a bit like shrugging your shoulders.
Okay, so
yeah, but that's more like it's like that. It's when you kind of go.
Yes.
You shrug your shoulders.
Shrug.
Yeah, and we often use it like I asked him, he just shrugged his shoulders.
Okay, and then
it's not really to do with the hands. It's much more
right. Well, it seemed to me that there was something with hands, but I just wanted to check it.
It's that gesture. It's that.
Okay. Yes. Okay, and then I have another one. Is there any special expression when you try your best, and when you do your best and you do everything which depends on you for 100%? Is there a special collocation for that?
In what kind of situation?
Well, we were just discussing the situation when connected with that creative thinking, when the person told me that he tried his best to achieve the goal, or to find a solution to a problem, something like that. So he used his abilities for 100%.
Yeah, I'd say something like this in the chat box. I gave it everything I had. I gave it.
Okay, so.
Yeah, there's quite a few variations of that. I gave it all I had.
I gave it.
Any of those.
Okay.
I'm waiting for your 12th question.
Okay.
If anyone else has anything, by the way, feel free to.
Yeah, I don't really understand marriage of convenience. What do you mean by
So
that?
it's basically where people get married, not because they fell in love with each other, but because it's convenient for them to be together in some way. So it could be very wealthy old man marries much younger woman.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I know.
Or it could also be like, I don't know, it happens a lot in Hollywood where if you're gay and you're not openly gay and you're worried that it might affect your career. So you marry someone because then you can kind of go, maybe you've heard these terrible rumors that I'm gay. Obviously it can't be true. Look, I'm married to a woman. Look. and the woman gets some kind of financial deal out of all of this. Tom Cruise, for example, apparently.
Yes. And what is a very modern marriage?
Yeah.
So I guess it's open to interpretation in a way. It could be a marriage where the woman works and the husband stays at home and looks after the kids. Okay. It could be a marriage where they actually live separately because they both got their own careers and they're focused on that and they meet up at the weekends or whatever. It could be a marriage where they both also see other people. You know, it's open to how you want to interpret it.
What is the difference then between a very modern marriage in the sense of being together but meeting other partners and open relationships?
Open relationship, you don't have to be married and you
Right.
don't have to live with that person.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, you can also, you know, you can be married and be in an open relationship.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I know someone who is in this situation.
No, I think it's like a very modern marriage in that sense is the best solution to many problems.
You sound like you're speaking from bitter experience there.
Well, I'm divorced and I'm actually happy with what I'm having now. So, and I'm not planning to get married anymore. So.
You know, maybe you need some kind of modern arrangement of some kind.
Right, right. No, I'm just, you know, fed up with those conventional relationships. So no, thank you. I'm fine with what I
I'll tell you as we go on, but I've had some very interesting stories this week about this topic. So some crazy things have come up. So
yeah. Okay.
welcome everyone. Hi Natalia and Lena.
Hello.
So this first thing I'm going to ask you to talk about, this thing about the relationships in your life, okay? I'm guessing most of you have had most of these relationships in your life. What I'll be asking you to talk about is which ones do you think had the biggest impact on you? In what way? What kind of impact do you think each of those relationships had? Can obviously be positive or negative, I guess, if you're talking about impact. Okay, so which ones were most important for you and what impact did they have on you? And I will come round and listen. Okay.
So let's begin with the first one. Yep. So what kind of relationship have you had in your life?
Let me start then. Yeah, the relationship that has had the biggest impact on my life was between me and my grandmother, because my mother was very young when she gave birth to me, and I was left with my grandmother.
How young was she, if you don't mind me asking?
How old my mother was?
Yeah.
She was 18.
Wow, it's young, yeah.
Yeah, and she was studying at a college, and yeah, my grandmother is a person who warrants a lot of respect, and she formed me as a person.
Did you basically live with your grandmother?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, wow.
And a very interesting thing is that when I was born, there were not any maternity leaves.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I was left in, I forgot the word, cradle or something like this.
Yeah, like a cradle.
Cradle.
Like, yeah.
No, there was, like, before nursery school, children were left, like, 2 months babies.
Yeah, like a pram?
Yep, yeah.
The thing that you push around. Yeah, like in the street or outside where they worked or something.
So my grandmother would work a lot, and my mother would study, and I was left at this establishment for baby.
Yeah, you mean like Yesli, yeah? In
Mhm, mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think you don't have it here in the UK. I think it's our typical thing. In Belarus and in Russia, we have this kind of before the kindergarten. It's for very, very small children.
Oh, it's like with a childminder or something.
It's like a kindergarten, but only for children from 0 to 1.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No idea what the English word is for this, but I know
Yeah.
what
Yeah, we have it.
Yeah, what about you?
Well, to tell you the truth, I have overcome some difficulties connected with parent-child relationship where I am a child. Actually, I took several sessions at my psychologist to work on that. And yes, actually, I have an elder sister, and my parents always thought that she was more successful and she achieved more, so I had a lot of problems about that. Now when my sister lives far away in Italy and I live here with my parents, they still believe that she makes a lot. But it's not actually true, because I'm in charge of everything in my family because I'm here now. But I believe that my children teach me a lot more than I teach them. You know what I mean? So they actually give me much more experience in different spheres of life, and I could never think that I would have really bad relationship with my son, because I am quite difficult person to deal with. I want everyone. Yes.
I'm managing okay with you so far, Evgenia.
Yes, because you can just shut me up,
This is what
when
the
the class
mute
starts.
button is
Yes, right. Actually, that was my son is dreaming about, I guess, just to mute me, and unmute when he needs that.
Do you get on with your sister now or not?
No, we're fine. We live far away from each other, and we're getting along. We're getting along fine. But still, she's a teacher. She's and I'm a teacher too. And there, two teachers in one family. It's too much, I believe. So. And she tries to bring me up still.
Oh, really?
Yes, and teach me how to live. And actually, well, thanks to her, I am in this class with you guys.
It's her fault.
You see.
Yes, but it's a fortune for me, so that's a good thing. So yes, I would say that this relationship between siblings.
This modern world, she's more acquainted with it. But now I think my sister is more my main friend in my life, now in my period of life where our parents died, and we talk on the phone almost every day, and she can discuss with me all her daily routines or some of her concerns, but and I know that she can understand me. And
Is she younger or elder?
she's younger. 7 years difference between us. But now when we were young, we were kids, we sometimes quarreled and argued.
That's normal.
Of course, but we are quite different in characters. She has many friends, all. So she's very sociable, and I am a bit of introvert. So, but still we have very good relationship.
So you got a lot in common. Yeah, you can discuss with her
yeah,
many
yeah,
topics.
yeah. I think so.
Okay, Svetlana, what about relationship in your life?
You mean the most meaningful, the biggest influence? Yeah. Okay, I'd say well, definitely the first thing that comes to mind, that's my parents, because I'm lucky. Both of them are alive. We do not. I don't see them. I don't get to see them very often, and to be honest, I haven't seen my dad for more than half a year. Just because of this corona crisis, but I Skype to them a lot, and Viber and whatnot, and Zoom.
It's really hard. Her husband was an alcoholic, and she grew up 2 children, and she was so strong, and she's extremely she's extremely fair person, and she taught me a lot, and also I like the way she expresses her views, because she tells what she thinks. She tells other people what she thinks, and she doesn't try to beach other people behind their backs. Yeah, she just, if she's not happy about something, she tells it. And I think it's a very good thing for a woman, because for women, like smiling at each other and then saying bad things behind each other's backs. But she told me that it's not a good
they
way.
say that it's difficult to work in the group of women.
Yeah. That's why I'm grateful for her to teach me these things. Yeah.
I can tell you about my relationships with my colleagues, because I'm really lucky to have had very close relationships with my colleagues, and they've always been very supportive. Like wherever I worked, we always managed to be on the same page, on the same wavelength, and we share materials, ideas. They're all very insightful people. And once I've
worked with their complete opposites.
Yeah.
Many times. It sounds like if you had a photographic photo and you made the negative of this. I've worked with those people before.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I feel that the relationship between me and my students is very, very good. They love me and I love them, and we can't wait for our next classes.
Right.
I can say, yeah.
Right.
So now I'm in the situation that my school closed the academy of the third age, so I can't teach them anymore there. It was joined. It was within the university, and because of COVID, it's closed forever. So I'm starting my new business, and all of my students, they want to join me. So I feel, I feel they really like the lessons. They want to continue with me. Yeah?
Are you setting up on your own?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. You can congratulate me after a year or more. I haven't even started yet. I'm starting on in September.
I can remember that when we first went self-employed, a lot of my friends sort of went, "Wow, you're so brave." And after about a year, we realized that what they meant by brave was stupid.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that.
But you know, if you survive the first year, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I hope I will. Yeah.
Well, everything will be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine. So you'll be safe and sound. And besides, you have your own students.
Yeah, I
So
already have my own students.
Right.
A group of like 70 people. So
so
I feel.
So you're sorted already.
Yes,
I think so.
Sorted, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I hope.
Years ago, and she sort of she was an ex-opera singer, and she was she used to well she served in the theater in one of academic theaters in Minsk, and she taught me to love and appreciate opera, and she actually taught me quite a lot, and I'm still thankful to her. She unfortunately she passed away about 2 years ago, but she was fantastic. She was brilliant.
Okay. And what about relationship with you as a teacher, like teacher and students, or you are not a teacher?
I do, yeah. I'm a teacher, and
from the point of view, like being a teacher and having a relationship with your students.
And you know what? You with teachers, you always put your heart and soul into what you're doing, and sometimes you give way too much, and
No. So sometimes my wife says to me, "I thought your classes were supposed to be 1 hour." Give or take.
Yeah, it's true, and
this problem.
It's a trouble. Yeah, it's a trouble with teachers, I suppose.
Yeah, unfortunately, and
can't stop.
I seem to be working all the time. So if I'm not teaching, and I'm preparing for my classes. If I'm not preparing for my classes, I'm sort of thinking of what I'm going to.
So, sorry to. Oh, I'm echoing something. Someone has a volume turned up loud. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. So sorry to cut you short. I can see that there was some very involved conversations going on there. I noticed a strange thing all this week, which is how many people in kind of post-Soviet countries have very close relationships with grandparents. It's like a kind of recurring theme. You know, people who were either kind of brought up by their grandparents or spent every summer with their grandparents, or you know, there's a lot of very fond memories of grandparents, I'm noticing.
We also live together because we didn't have any place to live.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. So because everyone's just living under one roof, yeah?
Yeah.
Russian babushkas.
Kind of
Russian babushkas, they usually say that they are different from any other grandmoms. They called it Russian babushka.
Yeah. No.
They're special. Yes, they're special. They're quite different.
I tend to think grandmothers are basically the same all over the world, actually. You know, there's a certain mentality that goes with it. So, I'm going to move you around a little bit and put you in pairs. This time about the blog post that you read, the going through a rough patch, okay? Particularly any language you're still not sure of, or anything where you're thinking, I'm not sure I understand this expression. See if you can help each other. And then those questions about any couples, you know, going through a rough patch, divorce rate, main reasons for the relationship ending, etc. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Before you get started, was there anything in the questions that you weren't sure of? Any problems or anything?
Yes, yes, of course. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, don't.
I'll be sending you an extra bill later.
Yes, don't mute me, please. So, what is acrimonious?
Acrimonious.
Acrimonious.
Yeah, so an acrimonious divorce is like a really nasty, bitter divorce where they both get lawyers, and then their lawyers get lawyers, and then it goes to court, and then it goes to another court, and it's horrible. Yeah, and it drags on, and the kids get involved, and it's the opposite of an amicable divorce.
Thank you.
Know, you're very adult, and you sit down and discuss it and go, right, fine, okay, that's what we'll do. Okay, so I'll put you in rooms, and I will come round and listen.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. So what do you think, that does it work when people do this trial separation?
Oh, I think it depends on people mainly, and people are so different, and I think when we talk about such personal things, it's hard to say. For some people it works, for others no. So yeah,
unfortunately there's no a recipe, like one that fits all, so you need to give it a try and see how it goes. But I think in some cases it could be it could be quite helpful to do this a trial separation and see how
people a bit of time to reflect and to think about things.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes, it can work. And do you know any couples that have been going through a rough patch recently?
Well, I had a friend who had a husband who had been cheating on her, and this affair had been going on for ages, and the wife was aware of it, and she sort of she was very, I would say, she freaked out, and she was going through this emotional roller coaster, because one day she would wake up in tears, and then she would pack all his stuff and decide to throw him away, and it was horrid. And to be honest, at some point we drifted apart, and I don't know how it all ended, but I think that they are still together, which is insane to me, because that's not that doesn't sound normal to me, because if a person is not faithful, if a person
for about a year, and it was really, really difficult experience for her as a mother, because when
was she against letting the son live with his father?
Yeah, I think so. When you are a mother, you want to have your children with you.
And how old was the boy?
The boy was like 13, so it's very difficult age. Yeah, and she lost completely touch with him. But now they are somehow getting over it and recovering from this difficult situation, and now she can see her son once a week. So not very much, but
at least something.
Yeah, at least something. Yeah, so it's really difficult because for children, I don't know if it's a rough patch for parents or for children. It's like
it's hard. I mean, my folks got divorced when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old, and it was a very, very acrimonious divorce. But I guess when you're a kid, whatever's happening in your own family is normal.
Okay, you don't know what.
You don't really have anything else to compare it with, so it's just, it's like, it feels normal to you. So you and I think kids are very resilient in lots of ways. Kids can kind of deal with lots of problems and lots of stress. They're quite flexible in a way. You know, it's funny. I mean, my mum's 73 and she still apologizes to me about getting divorced when I was 10.
Okay.
She's like, I'm so sorry.
You were brought up by your dad, yeah, weren't you?
Yeah. There was a big custody battle and I lived with my dad. And my mum still feels guilty about it. And it's like, it's just forget about it. It's done. You know, it's like 40 years ago. Just, I'm fine. Yeah,
Live forward.
Difficult for you. And it's like, well, maybe if you'd stayed together, it would have been difficult too. I don't know what would have happened in that situation. Maybe they would have killed each other, you know?
But maybe it's better just to separate and to stop quarreling than have the war at home. Yes,
and when you get older, you become much more forgiving and understanding of the shit that your parents went through. Because you know, you realize how easy it is to make mistakes yourself, and you realize that everyone's human, and you stop seeing them as my parents, and you just see them as, you know, just other human beings trying to get through life. You know, makes you a bit more accepting.
Roads, so it means that they hate each other, I suppose. Yeah, they can't find well, the way out. They argue a lot. Yeah, am I right to be at each other's throats? Yeah.
So they're always arguing, they're always shouting at each other.
No peace. Can we say that there is no peace in their marriage? Or So it's very
exactly like that.
So and as for the questions to the article, so who do you think most often wants a divorce, the husband or the wife? It depends, but I suppose that in Russia mostly, as I said, women. I think they have because
70% of the time.
Because they have to clean, to cook, or to do some household chores, and men are reluctant. Men are reluctant to do their, well, how can we say, to do their part? We've written down this expression. I have forgotten.
To do their fair share.
To do their fair share. Thanks. So that's why I think that more and more women just follow their career, and they wanted to achieve something in their life besides being at a kitchen, children. In German, it's Kirchen, Kinder, and
it's the Nazi slogan,
I don't know about Nazi, but they say usually
it comes from the Nazis.
Nazi. I haven't heard that. I've heard that the
Kirchen, kitchen, something.
And kids.
Church.
Church,
children
and
church, children and kitchen.
Three. Well, I haven't known that it comes from Nazi. I just heard
it was kind of, you know, the men will rule the country and you will stay at home and breathe and cook dinner.
But it's strange enough that it comes from Nazi, but most men support this idea that women should be.
Well, maybe this tells you something disturbing. This is why we need more female leaders in the world.
Yeah, maybe.
You know?
I agree with you.
You know, people, and when they need to save like relationships, something like that, they will never get divorced, and they will be, you know, boiling in that, you know, pot of conflicts and bad relationships. But if they just want to leave that circle, they would start a new and happy life, I guess. So, but again, it's really complicated to judge on who wants a divorce more. But yes, I think that wives.
I know the statistics for England.
Oh, really?
70% of divorces are instigated by women.
Yes, that's what we were actually predicting.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, because it is very convenient to live in a family and have an affair somewhere else.
I think that's what lots of guys do, is kind of,
Right.
you know, rather than end the relationship, they kind of, you know, they deal with it outside.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And again, there is, you know, the thing is that you cannot guarantee, or no one can guarantee that your new relationship will be better than your old one, right? Because
Yeah,
you're staying the same person, and you just need to find a new partner who will satisfy your needs. But it is quite difficult when you are young, and it is even more difficult when you get older, because you know, no, I mean, I can talk only about myself, but I feel that I don't really want to serve anyone. No, I just don't want to be that, you know, housewife or something like that. So just to cook soups for my husband. And
I always thought this was a very strange thing for men to want, myself. It's like, well, why would you want that?
I don't know.
You want, I don't know, you want someone you can talk to and relate to on the same level. And no, I don't know. I never really understood the appeal of that. It's like, if that's what you want, hire a servant.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's like, I don't know.
Right. Okay, so Natasha, should kids be a reason for parents to stay together? Oh, I have a very nice answer to this question.
That like you sort of you separate with your spouse not because of the not because of a child. The child has nothing to do with it. It's just we still love you, honey. So you both sort of me and your dad. So you will always be our nearest and dearest. So our son or daughter, but we just we cannot live together with your dad, and it's like that.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think it's the worst thing that you can make to a child, to be together when you hate each other and you still
It's true, yeah.
and you are still together just because of each other.
Yeah, the child will always suffer a lot.
But I know lots of people whose parents stayed together and the kids are still fucked up. You know, I mean, your family can damage you in all kinds of different ways.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we were talking with my friend not long ago, and we both agreed that our families damaged us most of all. And this were the people, our parents, who just...
That doesn't have to be because of divorce. There's such a wide range of options available.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And then there's like sort of abused grown-up children. They keep like beating.
Which is not good for us. We don't have to get stuck in this relationship. Yes, we go to psychologists, and psychologists say, like, you are important, think about yourself, don't go into a relationship which can harm you. So I think that we are more like psychologically aware, yeah, and because of the tendency that everything is easy, we try not to fight for a better relationship. We just give up. Yeah, so it's easier to give up than to work on something.
I guess there's also that kind of instant gratification thing, like, you know, I want my food now, I'm going to order it.
Yeah, press the button
exactly.
And you have
press
it.
The button, change. Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of that, yeah.
So people are lazy. They don't want to work on things. They want to have everything at once.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely some truth in that.
Yeah. Also, in the past, people used to be more religious, and they like they talked to God, they felt better because they had a relationship with some outer, spirit, and now they feel a lack of this kind
no,
of
I mean, I
relationship.
think that's true as well. I think that's true as well.
So,
hey, welcome back, welcome back. We've lost someone who's vanished.
really? How come?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That was strange. So, going to get you in a minute to talk about those topics from exercise 3, okay? This was the one where I've heard the most crazy stories all this week. We had a Spanish student on Monday whose sister lives as part of a throuple, which was a word I learned on Monday myself. It's like a 3-person couple. Her sister lives with her boyfriend and another woman, and they all live together as a throuple. And
they happy.
Again?
Are they happy? Are they happy together?
Apparently, they're all very happy together. Apparently that they've been living like this for 6 years, and even though it's very unconventional and some people will kind of judge them for it, she said her sister's basically like, I don't care what people think about what I do. This is how I want to live. I'm happy. She's happy. He's happy. Everyone's happy. Mind your own business. So that was quite amazing. I also had a woman who's originally from Kazan, and she's married to a German guy, and she lives in Berlin. And her cousin was married for a long time. And when her cousin was 40, she finally came out to her family and told them all that she was gay. And she then moved in with a female partner, and they had 2 kids, one from each of their marriages. And they're now living openly as a kind of gay couple in Kazan, bringing up 2 children. And my student was kind of really surprised. She was like, when she first heard, she was like, you can't do this in Kazan. It's not possible. You'll get killed. And now she goes back and she sort of talks to her mum and said, so did you hear about Olga? Oh, yeah, she seems very happy. Everyone's fine about it. And my student was sort of like, okay, I was expecting people to be more narrow-minded about this, but apparently things have changed. So we had that story as well. So before we talk about these, were there anything you wanted to ask about or anything else you're not sure of connected to these? I think we covered most of them earlier, yeah? I'm looking at you, Evgenia.
No, I'm done with my questions. I'm done with my questions.
You're done? Ah, okay.
Yes, if I have something else, I will ask you.
I'm sure you will.
I have a notepad here, so I'm just fixing everything.
I'm pleased to see how organized you are.
I am a nerd, so I'm just interested in everything.
Well, we're all nerds. Okay, I'll put you in pairs, okay? Whichever ones of these you chose to speak about and why. And I'll come round and listen. Oh, where's Svetlana?
I'm alone here.
Is that Svetlana coming back? Back. I'll come back in a minute. Okay.
I'm back.
Sorry.
Girlfriend, so they're not married. I can't say that it's same-sex marriage, but well, they are living together. It's kind of a partnership. So she quite enjoys it, and we got used to that. We often meet together, and we know her partner quite well, so
and it's kind of accepted, yeah.
Yeah. And we've been to the special club in our city, also having fun there. Yeah, our visit was quite surprising.
I've been to many of these clubs with various friends. It's like first couple of times it's like, woo, okay.
Yeah, it was quite, and at first I was quite afraid that some of them will try to flirt or something, and then I realized that they
can recognize.
They can see and feel it, so you needn't be afraid of that. And in all the other ways, it's just the same club, so you just enjoy the music and so on.
Yeah.
I have a story which is quite similar to the one that you mentioned with 3 people, but it's a little bit different. It's cousins, they're like a brother and a sister, and they date one man and they live in 3. And it's like, and this somehow it works, and they're all happy with it. So it's just
a brother and a sister, and
they're like cousins. They're like cousins, and they date the same guy. Yeah. So it's just a sister, like a girl with this boy and a boy with this boy, and like this. Yeah.
Okay.
They're dating, not living together. Yeah?
They're living together. They live in 3. Yeah. Like this two.
In Belarus.
In Belarus, yes.
Sorry, I shouldn't sound so surprised. I mean,
we also have such in Belarus.
I can tell. I mean.
And when I was on the camp, I was working with a group of young English people, and I'm talking about a camp. I was working last year as a house parent. It was a language camp.
Okay.
And I would like to talk about the team of language teachers there. And so we were a team of co-workers, and every Friday or Saturday we went to a pub for a couple of beers, and I listened to many conversations, like many stories about relationships of young people in England. And it was the time when I felt the most boring person in the world. Really having long-term relationship with one man. It was really so boring. I had nothing to talk about because all of these young teachers, they had so interesting, so funny, so like fruitful stories about so many different relationships between men and men, women and women, and open relationships. I was really shocked, and they talked openly. They could talk hours and hours about it. There was the only topic we discussed during these evenings. So really, I can tell you, I felt a very, very boring person.
Are you happy, Anna?
For them, yeah.
Oh, that's a very good question. I think I am. I don't know if I could live another way.
Yeah.
So probably everybody likes what he or she likes. Yes.
Yeah.
But it was very nice, sociological experience for me.
Yeah, my daughter also doesn't understand how you can live with one person for so long.
Okay, yeah.
Feelings to leave our relationship. So that's actually how I see my future relationship. I don't want to share space with someone, but at the same time, I don't want to, mingle those partners and jungle them. So,
to support your view, I've read recently an article. They say that there is a tendency for married couple to live in different places just because there are a lot of different kinds of services. Like you can buy ready-made food, or you can just call and someone can come to your house and fix something that you need. And people in modern marriage, they just need more me time, like just follow their interests or doing something. And they say that it's a tendency now in the world not to live together, that it's more convenient for people just to meet, as you say, support each other, in many things.
But I believe
just living, living in different places in their space.
Right. I believe that this dates back to that after war period when you had to, get married to survive.
Yeah.
And so that's the first thing. And the second thing is that a lot of men were killed during the Second World War. So women didn't have any opportunities to choose their partners. So they just got married the first person they met, literally, so to say. And now women and men, they started, thinking, and they started contemplating, like, the opportunities and real benefits which they can get from that, staying together and sharing one space. And it turns out that there are not so many benefits in this. I mean,
more drawbacks, I suppose.
Right. So actually, you can just, as you have mentioned, you can just get everything, like from shops, for example, or you can invite a special person to clean your room. So there is no, there are no reasons for living together, basically. No.
So it's about modern.
So I have a partner.
A child, and things fell apart immediately.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with you on the secrets of a successful marriage. If someone asked me, I would name the same points. And also probably talking to each other and discussing things and nipping it in the bud in case some problems come up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Not to harbor a grudge against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not to bear grudges.
Yeah,
and especially not humiliate each other, because people often start pointing fingers and like bad mouthing each other, calling each.
So I thought I'd heard everything about strange relationships this week, but Olga has topped everything. So Olga knows people in Minsk who are, it's a guy and a woman, and they're cousins, and they're both in a relationship with the same guy, and they live together. I didn't ask Olga. Same bedroom or separate? Do you know?
No. I know it's one flat with 2 rooms.
You haven't found this information out yet. Hey, there's a lovely Chinese idiom that my Chinese students taught me, which I wish we had an expression for in English, which is, in the forest there are many trees. And the Chinese often use it in this kind of situation. It's like, oof, well, the forest is big, there are lots of different trees, they're not all the same. what can you say? It's like, okay, wow. my apologies for being surprised that this was happening.
That's
in
okay.
Belarus. You know, it's like it doesn't fit my stereotype of the country. It's obviously my fault for.
I'm glad.
Quite close to the Europe. That's why maybe.
Hey, I mean, even by European standards, this is extremely progressive. You know, I don't know anyone in this situation in London.
Oh, you see.
Maybe you just don't know.
Yeah, you know, they probably live next door to me, and I just haven't found out yet. So let's have a look at some of the things that came up. Okay, loads of language today. As usual, anything you're not sure of, shout.
Oh, bad blood. Yes.
Yeah.
Bad blood between you, yeah. After all these years.
So you can call your elder sister big sister?
Yeah, my big sister, my little sister.
Okay.
Much more common in spoken English.
So even if there are two children in the family,
yeah,
so you can.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I've got a kid brother, 3 years younger than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, much more common in spoken English. My older brother sounds weird. Of course, it's correct, but I would always just say big kid.
And as for children, for example, if you are talking about two sons and one is elder than the other, you called my big kid? Or
no, it's only for your own brothers or sisters. You just say, my older son, my younger son. Yeah. It's only for brothers and sisters.
What about two husbands? I'm kidding.
I think that's the Moscow one and the St. Petersburg one.
One husband is too much.
Yes.
Why do you need two of them?
Enough.
The doctor one and the teacher one. Let me just move it down a little bit. Again, anything you're not sure of, tell me. Oh.
Can we say she's far more sociable than me?
Yeah. Fine as well.
What about that helped me excel at what I was doing?
Yeah, so it helped. So it means like to become really excellent at something.
Excel is a shortened word for excellent.
Well, excellent is an adjective. Excel is a verb. Yeah. So, you know, if you have a coach and the coach pushes you really hard, you know, you're doing well, but you can do better. I can't. Yes, you can. I believe in you. Well done. You beat your own personal record. You know, you've beaten the school record. You're excelling at what you do.
Excel.
And, you know, like those of you who are teachers, obviously you want to excel at what you do. You want to be really, really, really good at what you do.
And one more question. We can call such person as a pusher, yeah?
No, a pusher is someone who sells drugs.
So you can, okay, and what about crusher? Have we called such people like I've heard in one of the films that she's a nephew crusher. Our aunt is a nephew crusher. Like
a what?
She's a very pushy person. As a crush, from the word crush, a person who is just so, well, I don't know.
In a positive way or a negative way?
Negative.
Okay.
Negative, that she's, yeah, just make her, for example, nephews do what she wants, and they called her a nephew crusher. Is
an nephew crusher?
Nephew, like
nephew crusher.
Yeah, nephew crusher, yeah.
It's a strange. It's a creative. You know, they've just invented that one.
Yeah,
I understand it, but it's not a common expression. Usually, you just say it like this: she's very pushy, very demanding.
Oh, it's negative, right?
Yeah.
But in the first example, you have he was very demanding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess this one's more. It depends on the context, you know.
Okay. And I have another question. So, if we're talking about grammar, which is more common? Is it more common to use be infinitive after help?
Again?
Is it more common to use a be infinitive after help?
Help, like help me do something.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong to add to,
right.
but most people wouldn't bother because you don't need to. You know, can you help me move this? Can you help me cook dinner? Can you help me lay the table?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I hardly ever hear anybody use to. Yeah, and that one, it's especially for parents, you know, very pushy, very demanding parents.
Oh, that's about me, yes.
You're like this, are you? You're one of those nightmare parents who goes to the teacher and says, "Why did my daughter only get 94%? Oh, 1 minute. Yeah, the other thing was just the use of folks, really common instead of saying parents. You know, are your folks still alive? Do you see your folks much? Things were tough for my folks. So let me just move down a little bit. Again, anything else you're not sure of?
Pecking order.
Yeah, the pecking order. It's like in the family where there's like 3 children, maybe, you know, big one, middle one, little one. Big one, I'm the oldest, respect me. Middle one, I look up to you, but I look down on you. Little one, I know my place. Yeah, it's that kind of, you know, the hierarchy that exists. Can be within companies as well. You know, there's a pecking order within the company. I was talking to Andrew the other day, my co-author, and he's the youngest of 3 children, 3 brothers. And he said, like, even now it's weird when he meets his big brothers, they're all in their 50s, but he said, like, the relationship is fixed. It's like exactly the same as it was when they were like teenagers. And his big brother will kind of go on, Andy, get the drinks in. It's your turn. Why do I have to buy the first round of drinks? Because you're the youngest. Go on. And then he goes and does it. And it's like, oh, God. You know, it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
The natural.
And even being in the 50s, you call your younger brother, you can say kid brother.
Yeah. You know, I mean, my brother's, 49 now, and I still call him my kid brother. Yeah.
Sweet.
Or strange.
Oh.
And to call it a day is to finish?
To finish it, yeah.
And
it can be for a relationship, but it can also be like, you know, if you're out with your friends and you've had a few drinks or something, and you say, "Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Listen, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going home."
Okay.
Yeah. Or at the end of a meeting, does anyone have anything else they want to add? Nope. Okay. So let's call it a day.
And can we say call it a night?
Yeah. Especially if you're drinking. Yeah. You know,
So,
I'm going to call it a night. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. But the call it a night is not for relationships or for meetings. It's usually only at the end of a night when you've been out somewhere and you've been partying. I gotta go home. I gotta work tomorrow. I'm gonna call it a night.
Okay.
Sorry. 1 second. There's a little bit more after this.
And instigate, it's all only collocates with divorce or with other?
No, it's anything which you officially begin the process of starting. So you can instigate a divorce, you can instigate peace talks, you can instigate... what else can you instigate? Decided to instigate. You can instigate violence. You know, so if you organize violence against somebody.
At the discussion.
Instigate a discussion, yeah. Yeah, especially a kind of official or formal one, you know. So it's that idea of kind of formally beginning some kind of process. Instigate negotiations.
What about the word trigger? Can we use trigger?
Not in this context.
Not in this context.
So, you know, usually it's like trigger violence, trigger a riot, trigger an election. So it's basically, it's a similar meaning, but it's not always to do with official processes. So, you know, if there's a demonstration and the police come in on horses, sometimes it can trigger a riot. Or if the police kill a protester, it triggers violence against the police. Yeah. Or, you know, if you deliberately write something on the internet that you know is going to get a kind of extreme reaction, you write it because you want to trigger a reaction. So it's usually more to do with kind of getting a sharp reaction back from someone.
And they got embroiled in a big custody battle.
Yeah. So if you get embroiled in something, it's like you become involved in something complicated and long and difficult. Okay? So, you know, you can be embroiled in a sex scandal, embroiled in a financial scandal. If you're embroiled in a big custody battle, it's when both parents want the child. You know, the boy should live with me. No, he should live with me. I'm going to get a lawyer. I'm going to get a better lawyer. Yeah. And then it goes to court and it gets really, really nasty and it takes a long time and costs a lot of money. So you get embroiled in this big custody battle. And in the end, you know, one or other of the parents is awarded custody. Or maybe they're awarded joint custody, where they share 4 days with you, 4 days with me, 4 days with you, 4 days with me. Is it okay to move down to the last page?
Yeah.
Yeah? There you go. Last bit. Anything else you're not sure of, tell me.
How do you pronounce the word promiscuous?
Promiscuous.
Promiscuous. What does it mean?
It means someone who sleeps around a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Anna was talking about this summer school she did where she was working with all these young teachers from Britain, and they were all talking about their kind of private lives and their sex lives, and she was like, my God, you know, they've all had all these different lovers, men and women, my God, and they're all okay talking about it. Oh, I feel so old-fashioned.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned and boring.
Please.
It comes to everybody.
What means it horses?
Horses for courses. So it's like, hey, you know, for me, I couldn't live my life like that. But if that works for you, different things work for different people. Horses for courses, isn't it? So, you know what? They're cousins and they live together with one guy. Okay, wow. Wow, okay. Well, horses for courses, isn't it?
Is it like to each their own?
Each to their own.
Yeah,
but each to their own is more commonly for tastes in music or film or books or something like that. So, you know, if you say, I love Harry Potter, it's my favorite book ever. Seriously? Okay, right. Each to their own. Different people like different things. This is more like, if you imagine like a race horse, okay, and a race course. So, some race courses are better for certain kinds of horses. So maybe, you know, if there's lots of jumping, some horses do well. If it's kind of like a very flat race course, different horses do well. If it's a race course like this, different horses do well. So I guess it's that idea that different people thrive or different people do well in different situations. And what may be a good situation for me isn't necessarily a good situation for you. Yeah? So each to their own is more like to do with your taste. And this is more like to do with your lifestyle or the way you choose to live. So, okay, well, horses for courses. And it rhymes, which is always good.
And there's one more. He was in the closet for ages.
Yeah,
so it's an idiom, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Or is it a metaphor? Or is it an idiomatic metaphor or a metaphorical idiom? It's basically that idea of he was gay, but he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't able to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know people that were in the closet for years and years and years, kind of leading this weird secret double life and, you know, pretending that, you know, no, I have a partner, but she lives in a different city. It's okay. We all know, you know. So you can just tell us. Well, nothing to tell. And then years later, it's like, by the way, I'm gay. No, really? God,
can it refer to any secret you have?
No,
or
it's only being gay.
Okay.
Yeah, where you're secretly gay. And it's often because, you know, you're worried about how your friends will take it. You're worried about how society will take it.
I see.
You're worried about how your boss would take it. Often dads, you know, I can't have a gay son because I'm not gay. Uh-huh. Good thinking.
And come out is a phrasal verb which is used only when you want to tell the society that you are gay, right?
Yeah. There's this very famous Diana Ross song called "I'm Coming Out." Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know it, from the 80s. You know, huge gay anthem, played to this day in every gay club in England.
And actually, the last sentence, "beggars can't be choosers."
Yeah.
Is it an idiom again?
Yeah, it is. So this was this idea. Some of you were talking, I think it was you, Evgenia, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, talking about this thing about, you know, after the war, there weren't many men. So women were just like, you have 2 arms, 2 legs, you're a man, I'll marry you. You'll do. Okay? And in that situation, if you're kind of, please, I'm looking for a man. No, not that one. but I'm still looking for it. No, not that one either. Just take one.
Okay.
You know, you can't choose if you're begging.
Right.
Just take what you get. I use it with my kids a lot, where, you know, my daughter will kind of go, "Can I have a snack?" And you go, "Yeah, here is an apple." "I don't want an apple." Beggars can't be choosers. You want a snack? Take the apple. You don't want a snack? Leave the apple. Problem solved.
Right.
Okay, I'll send it on after I've had my dinner. I'm going to add a few little bits and pieces, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
and have a great weekend.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Bye.
I'll
Bye.
send the other stuff out tomorrow as well. Yeah.
Right.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Yeah, you